The royal family ignored Harry and Meghan at their ceremonies to honor a year since the Queen's passing. Despite being in Europe for the Invictus Games the day after the anniversary, the Sussexes were not invited. Next month, Prince Andrew, 63, and Sarah Ferguson, his ex-wife, will join other royals in grieving the late king. Despite their scheduled appearance in Germany next month, a year after the monarch's passing, sources claim there has been no outreach from senior royals to the Sussexes, who are based in the U.S. On September 8, King Charles and Queen Camilla are anticipated to celebrate the meaningful anniversary at Balmoral with family. The Invictus Games are set to begin in Dusseldorf 24 hours after Harry and Meghan, who left Britain in 2020 and have since repeatedly criticized the royal family, are scheduled to do so. They might be in the UK to commemorate the event. However, insiders have confirmed that neither the couple, who reside in Montecito, California, with their 2 children, nor any private or public commemorations, have received invitations. According to a source, there hasn't been any outreach to them. On August 21, the King, 74, and Queen, 76, will begin their 3-week vacation at Balmoral, the location of Her Majesty's demise. They will be joined by other royals, including William, Kate, and their 3 children, who is at odds with Harry. Even Prince Andrew, who was stripped of his HRH status by the Queen last year because to his sexual assault case, has patched things up with Charles. He will travel to Scotland with his former spouse Sarah, who was recently spotted for the first time following breast cancer surgery. Harry and Meghan will make their first combined appearance in Europe since the Queen's burial during their trip to Germany on September 9. Since being evicted from Frogmore Cottage in Windsor by Harry's father Charles, they no longer have a place to call home in the United Kingdom. Since Harry and Meghan are most likely remaining at Balmoral, no royals are anticipated to encounter them while they are traveling in Europe. If they are not included in any of those plans, they will find a way to honor the significance in their own way, a source said of the commemoration's snub. Doctors started to worry about the Queen's declining health last year while the pair was abroad for charity events. In a phone call, Harry's father instructed him not to bring Meghan to Balmoral. He took a private flight without William, Andrew, Prince Edward, or their spouse Sophie, and he arrived too late to see the Queen before she passed away. For filming portions of their 6-part Netflix documentary, while the Queen was ill last summer, the Sussexes have drawn criticism. 3 months after the passing of Elizabeth II, the Harry and Meghan television series was finally made available. As she described the first time she met Harry's grandma, Meghan received criticism for her extravagant curtsy. Harry also claimed Charles had lied to them and alleged William had screamed and shouted during the Sandringham summit that ended their reign as monarchs. Harry said that he and William begged their father not to wed Camilla in his shocking autobiography Spare. Additionally, he spoke about a battle with William in which he claimed to have been knocked to the ground. Those revelations, which included charges an unnamed royal, made racial remarks about the skin tone of their children, came after their controversial appearance with U.S. TV broadcaster Oprah Winfrey. Harry added that he pulled his family out of the UK to break the cycle of pain and suffering. This weekend, Charles is scheduled to attend the Meg Games in John O'Groats. After relocating to Birkhall on the 50,000-acre Balmoral estate, he'll have a number of engagements. Beginning on August 21, the King will reside at Balmoral while entertaining many members of his family for 3 to 4 weeks. One of them is Sarah Ferguson, 63, who had surgery for breast cancer. She admitted this week on her podcast that she had been too ill to travel for about a month. The first summer in Balmoral following the Queen's passing will be spent by the Prince and Princess of Wales and their kids. Other guests invited to the annual summer meeting favored by the late Queen are the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh and their children. How the family will mark the anniversary of her passing has not yet been formally declared by Buckingham Palace. The late Queen usually spent Accession Day, the day after her father King George VI passed away in February 1952, in Sandringham. Senior royals are anticipated to observe September 8, also known as Charles' Accession Day, both personally and publicly. The Queen wouldn't be able to leave her summer vacation to swear in new Prime Minister Liz Truss at Buckingham Palace, as first reported by The Sun in August of last year. Rather, Ms. Truss made the trip to Balmoral to meet with Her Majesty and formally take Boris Johnson's place. The Queen's passing was confirmed by the palace just 2 days later. The following day, Harry was excluded from a supper at Birkhall with Charles, Camilla, and William. But during a touching vigil at Westminster Hall with the coffin, the Duke of Sussex was allowed to dress in military garb. He accompanied Meghan to the wedding at Westminster Abbey and followed the funeral procession across London. On his website, Harry paid tribute to his grandmother, praising her unwavering grace and dignity, her infectious smile, and her sound advice. He returned from the U.S. alone to sit in the third row at the Abbey for Charles and Camilla's crowning in May of this year. In order to celebrate her son Archie's 4th birthday, Meghan opted to stay in Montecito. Harry also skipped a post-coronation party at Buckingham Palace in favor of boarding the first flight out of London, bound for California. Since then, he has traveled back to the UK twice for high court proceedings involving the media and is anticipated to do so again soon for additional court appearances. During the 7-day Invictus Games for wounded service members, he will turn 39. According to reports in German media, Meghan will moderate, and he will deliver the closing address. The duo went to The Hague for the Games last year, but Meghan left early to catch a flight back to her husband Archie and their baby Lilibet.